Hello, Thoreau friends. Corinne Smith here. I'm a longtime member of the Thoreau Society, and once again I am speaking out against this proposed merger of the Thoreau Society and Thoreau Farm Trust. I have already submitted my official no vote in the election. I encourage you to do the same. We're in the middle of the voting period, as you know. Voting ends on December 15th, 2025. And if you didn't happen to see the 3 other videos that I produced where I talked about my distaste for this merger, you can find links to them below. I still maintain that these 2 organizations do not belong merged together. If you go to the webpage thoreausociety.org/merger, you will find lots of pertinent information, including the proposed new bylaws, which you absolutely should print and read in its entirety. The Society has also been holding a bunch of Zoom calls so that people can ask questions in person. I was a good doobie and I attended the first 2. I asked a couple of questions and I listened to the other very good questions that other people had, but really, it's enough. I cannot stomach any more of this. The whole situation makes me sick. And it lingers and lingers and lingers, and we still have weeks to go before the votes are tallied. Ugh. However, I do consider it to be a mild accomplishment that the proposal at this time does not include a redesign of the Thoreau Society logo. Please note that it's only a pause of the redesign process, because if the merger passes, the Thoreau Society will cease to exist as a legal entity. I'll talk about that in a couple minutes. And some designer would then be free to discard this symbol, this famous symbol, this remarkable symbol, and come up with something completely irrelevant. Also, when you look at the merger page and some of the sample questions and answers, a fair number of them cover issues that I have brought up in these videos. So that's kind of good, kind of. Overall, though, this whole mess is very complex. It completely ignores Henry Thoreau's advice to simplify. How can you blatantly ignore Henry when you're supposed to be promoting him? I don't understand. As you have read, the proposal puts the Thoreau Society and Thoreau Farm Trust under a new umbrella called the Thoreau Alliance. Again, if you think we have too many Thoreau and Walden related groups in the area, sure, let's introduce yet another name and yet another entity. How much more confusion for the public can we generate here? And let's consider the word alliance for a few minutes here. The dictionary defines alliance in this kind of situation as a close association for a common objective, as in nations, political parties, etc. In effect, traditionally and typically, separate entities come together for a specific project or for a shared goal. Historically, the entities keep their separateness and their own integrity. They merely work together whenever they have a certain task or an issue before them. So technically, you could say that the Thoreau Society and Thoreau Farm Trust have already been acting as an alliance over the past few years. They collaborate on writing and author programs that are held at the birth house, maintaining their separateness, but collaborating together in an alliance. Let's look at a few other examples of alliances out in the world. The U.S. Climate Alliance brings together 24 governors who are committed to taking action to prevent and to offset the effects of global climate change. This alliance does not take over these 24 states. It does not merge those states. It just makes communications and actions easier among those 24 states for this collaborative effort for the greater good of the more than 50% of the Americans who live in those states. Terrific. Looking farther out, NATO is an alliance of 34 countries. It doesn't use the word alliance in the title, North American Treaty Organization, but if you look at any description of it, it will say it's an alliance. It's considered to be an alliance. Now, NATO does not take over those 34 countries. It does not merge those 34 countries. just like the United States Climate Alliance does not merge those 24 states. The partners, the participants, maintain their own identities. They manage themselves. They just come together for a common purpose toward a specific goal. Here's another example of an alliance, closer to home for New Englanders. When I was discussing this proposal with somebody else from the area, he told me an alliance that he was familiar with because of his former job. He used to work for Digital, as in Digital Equipment Corporation, which employed a lot of people in our region. And this person said that for a specific project that they were working on, Digital entered into an alliance with IBM. Just for that particular challenge, mind you. It wasn't that the two companies merged or that one reported to the other. They merely worked together and kept their separateness at that time for the sake of advancing work on a special project. So now we come back to the Thoreau Society and Thoreau Farm and the Thoreau Alliance. I still say they've been working in an alliance kind of relationship for some years now. And you might believe that on this surface, this merger just makes this alliance more formal. But look more closely at the bylaws. The boards have gone beyond the alliance stage, and they want you to combine the two organizations into one whole. Neither one could keep their integrity or their separateness. Together they form the Thoreau Alliance, and that would be the new organization. During one of the Zoom calls, someone asked about the fact that the proposed bylaws indicate that Thoreau Farm Trust would be the continuing legal organization. We were told that the legalities have to bend that way because the deed to the house and the property are in the name of the Thoreau Farm Trust, and to change that ownership would be to undo the agreement that they have with the town of Concord when they made it and they first took over the plans to restore and to reopen the house. So Thoreau Farm Trust is going to be the legal, let me tell that again, the continuing legal organization, which leaves the Thoreau Society where it won't exist as an entity. So the two organizations would now be called the Thoreau Alliance. Thoreau Farm Trust would be the continuing legal organization because of the house, and the Thoreau Society would be gone. Poof! And you would not be able to accurately say that you are a member of the Thoreau Society because that organization would no longer exist. That 501c3 organization, nonprofit, gone. According to the bylaws, you would become a member of the Thoreau Alliance, not the society. And so you would have to tell people, oh, I'm a member of the Thoreau Alliance, and then you'd have to explain what that means. Good luck with that. Think about it. Doesn't the word society carry more weight than alliance? Oh, I'm a longtime member of the Thoreau Society. Oh, I'm a member of the Thoreau Alliance. Oh, what's that? Huh. The bottom line is that I believe the term alliance is being used inaccurately for this new proposed new organization. Instead, the situation actually, I'm going to say it, resembles more of an absorption or really even a takeover. Now, when you scroll through the merger page on the Thoreau Society website, you see that there's a place for public comments at the bottom of the page. Anybody can submit a comment for public view. You have to send an email to comment@thoreausociety.org, and they will have an editor make sure it's grammatically correct and everything, and you have to limit yourself to 250 words, and then it'll get posted. And anybody can post, okay? I know people who have really strong feelings, but they're not willing to commit to put their names out there in public. And I understand that decision. Obviously, I don't care that people know how I feel. The comment section right now is peppered with lots of messages from gleeful people who seem not to understand that what they're really doing is supporting the disappearance of the Thoreau Society, the dissolution of the Thoreau Society. Groundbreaking Thoreau scholar Walter Harding devoted 50 years of his life to creating and to maintaining this wonderful organization, and with this vote, poof, it's not going to be an organization anymore. It's subsumed by this Thoreau alliance. It could disappear as a legal entity if the merger passes. So look at the comments section. You're probably going to recognize a lot of names, a lot of famous people in our circles. Please don't let the power of their fame sway you one way or the other, okay? I ask you to at least please read Jeff Wisner's 6 Reasons to Vote No on there. He makes very compelling arguments in just those 6 items. My no vote recommendation is on there too. And again, anybody can submit a comment. Don't worry about that. The last time I spoke to you, I showed you an example of a flavor merger. I'm using an analogy, using a Thoreau likes metaphor and simile and analogy, so that's what we were going to do. And I showed you an example of a flavor merger of 2 classic snacks that is currently out in the convenience stores right now. I showed you that somebody came up with the idea to combine Reese's peanut butter cups with Oreo cookies. To give us these, yes, really, Reese's peanut butter cups and Oreo cookies merged together in online ads. In fact, I just saw one minutes ago. In online ads, they maintain that this is one of the most popular combinations ever. I just can't believe that. Now, since I recorded that last video, I did take 3 for the team, and I ate 3 of the 4 pieces in there. This is what it looks like. It's kind of melted, but that's what it looks like. It's white on the top, and it does have the cup cover there. It's white on the top, and somebody saw that in the last video and asked me if that was white chocolate. No, it's not white chocolate. I think it's supposed to be the Oreo cream. And what happens when you eat one of these, the consistency you feel in your mouth is like the kind you get when you order a cookies and cream ice cream cone. Okay, it's sort of lightly gritty, but in an acceptable way, because you know that it's supposed to be the tiny bits of chocolate of the Oreo cookie. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? So that's what it feels like when you put one of these in your mouth. However, the overall taste is entirely peanut butter. Peanut butter is a very strong flavor, very strong, and Oreo cream just does not stand a chance in this combination. It is completely overtaken by its presumed partner in this, unfortunate endeavor. But isn't this just like any other partnership or merger? It's never really 50-50. So one side's always going to have to be slightly higher than the other. One side's going to have to take the lead. It's not at all like Seinfeld's black and white cookie. Remember those? Cookie that had black frosting on one half, white frosting on the other half, completely divided. Look to the cookie, Elaine. No, this is not like that. Here, the domination comes from peanut butter. And with this proposed merger, which side will lead? Because again, it's outlined quite clearly in the proposal of the bylaws that the Thoreau Farm Trust will be the sole proprietor of the Thoreau Alliance because it owns the deed to the house. The Thoreau Society can never be the peanut butter. I see 2 possible futures ahead for the Thoreau Society moving forward. One is that we will operate exactly as we have been doing from the 1990s to the year 2024 as a separate organization with a separate executive director. The other option is that down the road, folks will eventually seek me out, shake their heads and say, you know, it's not like it used to be. Nope. If the merger proposal passes, It sure won't be like it used to be. I hope you realize that I mean this in a negative way. And then I will do my best not to say, I told you so. During one of the recent Zooms, a board member said that they sensed some anxiety from some of our Thoreau Society members about this proposal. It's not anxiety, it's anger. We members are angry that we seem to be the only ones defending and protecting the sanctity and the integrity of the society that we have committed ourselves to for many years. We are angry that the board members appear not to be doing this, that we have to wonder why not. Why are they initiating measures to dissolve this organization? Go ask them. They'll deny that that's what's going to happen, but you look at the legalese, you look at the legal documents, and it's there. Yes, the voting process is underway. The voting period ends on December 15th, 2025. In order to pass, the proposal needs yes votes from 2/3 of the members who vote. Not of the membership as a whole, but the members who vote. So, if 100 members vote, then 67 of them have to vote yes for the proposal to pass. And I just wonder how many devoted society members are actually going to vote to put an end to the organization that we've dedicated ourselves. Why would anybody do that? And in case you're wondering, no matter what the outcome of the merger vote is, I plan to keep these 4 opposition videos posted online as a record and as a reminder of what happened with the Thoreau Society in 2025. An historical record that someday somebody might want to investigate and do further research on. So no, these videos will not be going away. They will not be taken down after the vote, at least not by me. I am tired of this mess. I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of hearing my heartbeat pound, pound, pound in my head every time I see or hear the word merger. You know, I know other folks are tired too. I have other things I want to do with my free time than to worry about whether or not this is going to pass. Too much time and money have been spent dabbling with this merger proposal. Be sure to vote before December 15th. Make your opinions known. If you still have questions, please ask them. They tell you on that page how to do it. Send a comment about the merger to that page. Comment at thoreausociety.org. Be sure to make your voice heard. But vote. Please vote. I'm Corinne Smith. Been a member of the Thoreau Society for more than 26 years now. Thank you for your kind attention to this matter.